Hello and welcome everyone to a video that's been requested for quite a bit ever since I published a little screenshot of this game, which is Tabletop Simulator, and this video is going to tell you how to play Vanguard on it. So, as you can see right now in the game, I do have my Vanguard stuff, and I could show some gameplay, but this is just the basic UI, and this is part of a mod where you can have a total of 4 tables, but we're going to get onto that a bit later because first, before anything else, I need to explain what Tabletop Simulator is. So if you go on Steam, you will find that if you search Tabletop Simulator, you'll come to this one, and normally it costs around, well, it costs 20 euros, so it should be also $20 for people in America as well, and it is, you know, it's 20 bucks for a simulator, but you get this, and then you can play any card game you want on it, and obviously Vanguard as well, as long as you're able to, you know, make the decks for it, which is very easy, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So, as I said, normally it's 20 bucks, but it goes on sale really often, so it's pretty easy to pick this up for 10 or 15 and stuff like that. So look out for places like Humble Bundle and G2A and general Steam sales as well for this game to go on sale, but its normal price is 20 bucks. So now that you've bought the game, the thing that I recommend the most to do is when you get the game is to play the tutorial, which you'll find over here. So the tutorial explains to you the basic controls, which are very important for any card game, like flipping cards face up, which is very important for Vanguard, and how to table flip, and how to actually, you know, draw cards, shuffle a deck, etc, etc. So make sure you play the tutorial because it explains the key controls which you will need for any card game or board game you play on this simulator. And if you do have a VR set, then you can also play this game with VR. But now let's get on to the actual instructions on how to start setting things up first. So the first thing I'd like to show to you is to, once you've got Tabletop Simulator, is to download this Cardfight Vanguard 2 to 4 player table. You just click subscribe over here, and then you will have it downloaded to your game. And then when you start a game, then you can just select this and you'll have the tables that I showed at the very beginning. So this is very helpful, and I'm thankful to Flaky for making this, because it's actually very nice to have these tables. And obviously you can make the tables for other card games as well, like Vice Schwartz, Cypher, Buddyfight, etc. But this is already something made for Vanguard. And once you've got that out of the way, I can explain to you how to do deck building. So now you go to your library, as you can see here, and then go to Tabletop Simulator and right click it and go all the way down to Properties. So click Properties, and then you'll get this window popping up, and make sure you click Local Files. So first you'll go into General, but make sure you click Local Files and then Browse Local Files. Then you should have this window popping up, then you just click Modding, then you click Deck Builder, and then you double click on TTS Deck Editor, and you'll get this screen as a pop-up. So now to make a Vanguard deck, you're going to have to follow some specific instructions, so make sure you click here where it says Start, you click New Deck, and then it gives you a deck size, and you have to do width 10 and height 7. This will give you a grid of 70 cards in total, and because in Vanguard you have the main deck and the G-Zone, which consists of 66 cards, that's the minimum we're going to have, so you go width 10, height 7. So just make sure you have that for any Vanguard deck you build. So then you click OK and you get this black little window. So then what you need to do is you can go to the wiki or to any other website where you can get card images from. So I chose the wiki, and then you can just take all the images from there for your deck, and then it's very easy. Just drag the images. So for example, I'll take my starter Grand Hop and drag it here, and you can see here now the grid suddenly pops up, and you can zoom in on it as well if you want. So this is the grid of 70 cards in total, so you can quickly fill it up so you can see what it looks like when it's filled up. So there we go, we have our filled up deck slot. So here we have the 50 cards of the main deck going up to Bravest Rush Gallop, and then we have our 16 card G-Zone. Now, you have 4 more spaces open, you can leave these 3 open, but the 70th one you can use for your sleeve that you want on this deck. So I have a folder here just full of sleeves. So for example, I'm going to use, let's say, these Blaster Mama Shiba sleeves, and you put them on the 70th slot, and that's it. Now what you do is you just save your deck, so you can save deck as, and then you can just name it whatever the deck is, so Cosmic Heroes. And then after you've saved it, you have to go here to export, hit export, and then upload image, and also upload back image. Keep these settings the same, and then to Imgur, and then hit export, and then in whichever folder you just have Cosmic Heroes and a PNG file, and then you save it. And now if we go to our Cosmic Hero deck, here we have the file of Cosmic Hero, so this is our deck file. So this is what we need now to create the deck in the game. So now let's go over how you actually load the deck in the game. So let's just go to multiplayer for now, and I'll just host my own server here. So let's say I'm just gonna go back to my autosave of the Cardfight Vanguard thing. Otherwise you can just click on the Cardfight Vanguard that you saw above, which was a workshop one, if you haven't clicked it already. So I'll just move my deck aside. And now, to import your deck for the very first time, what you're gonna do is over here you can see at the top there's a bunch of things. Here you're gonna hit Objects, and then hit Chest, and then here this little window will pop up, and you have to hit Custom, and then from Custom, here you see Deck, and then you drag the deck onto wherever you want, and now this is the part that you want to pay attention to. You hit here for Face, this is going to be basically the pictures of your deck, so you need to hit this, browse local files, and then you navigate to wherever your deck is. So Cosmic Heroes, and then my deck here is cosmicheroes.png. And here when this pops up, make sure you hit Cloud, because if you hit Local, then only you will see the images of your deck. But if you hit Cloud, then you and the people you play together with will also see them. So after you've hit Cloud, let it load a bit, and while that's loading, for the back, you can also hook up the sleeves. So we can go to my sleeve folder, and then I'll take my Mishiba sleeves, and once again, Cloud. And now again, this is the width and height that we specified earlier, but make sure the number is set to 66, because that's how many cards we have in the deck. The 50 cards of the main deck and 16 cards of the G-Zone. And then make sure to hit Back is Hidden, make sure you check that, because then the back of the cards will be hidden when they're in your hand so that your opponent can't see them. And then after they've loaded, make sure they both have loaded and the URLs are here. You can hit Import, and then it's going to load for a bit, so you just give it a little moment. And voila, so now it has loaded, and it's pretty small, so you can scale it up like I've scaled my other decks, so just scale it up so that it fits the size of the deck. And now if we flip these faced up, we have our cards. So these are the cards from our deck, and then you can also, obviously right click and search to look through your entire deck, and then I can pick out my favorite cards. And then if you were paying attention to the tutorial, you'll know that you can click on Alt to bring up the art of the card, and then you can read it from there. You can also, if you're using Japanese cards, like this one for example, it's not in English yet, you can right click and write the name and description in English so that when you hover over it, it will pop up. For example, if I take this favorite champ Victor here, if I mouse over him, then his effect pops up just like that. So you can do that with the cards that don't have English translations yet, but for English ones I recommend you just use the ones here because the images are really clear, so it's usually pretty fine. But now before we get sidetracked, make sure to remember to return your deck to the pile that it was. Obviously you can flip it to check, but what you need to do before anything else is to right click it and save object. Here you save object, and we can name it what the deck is, so Cosmic Heroes. And then you can put it in the folder. If you have folders, you can put it into your deck folder, or you can just put it into no folder at all. So let's put it into none for now, and save it. So now it's going to be saved in your game. So even if I delete it now from the game, I can go here. And to remember, you can go here from Objects into Chest, and then it will load this window. So now you click Saved Objects, and here from Saved Objects, I have my Cosmic Heroes. And then if I click on them, they load right here. So that's actually really all you need to do to load up your deck. And then to play, you just need to follow what the tutorial has told you, and then that's just how you play Vanguard. So it's possible to play online as well, obviously. So it's very nice, and I'm really enjoying it a lot more than CFA because you have this level of graphics. And just a couple more points, make sure that over here at the top you see, here where it says degrees, make sure you set it to 90, because then when you rotate your cards with Q or E, they rotate a perfect 90 degrees. So when you're attacking, you want to tap your card like this, so when you're guarding even or whatever, so make sure you do that. And that's about it for setting up your deck and playing the game. The only other thing is obviously when you want to play with friends, you want to hit on multiplayer and then host server, and then for example let's say DF, and then my password can be just ASD, and then you set your max amount of players, so you can be all the way from 2 to 10, and then you just create the server. And then from the create a server you can hit the Cardfight Vanguard 2 to 4 player table, and it's going to load the table from default, and then through Steam you can invite your friends, or you can just tell your friends the name of the server as well as the password so they can navigate to it. So that's actually pretty much it on how to play Vanguard on Tabletop Simulator. So if you want to join on the fun and find people to play with even easier, you can join my Discord, and on there we have a specific role just for tabletop players of Vanguard. So if you want to find a game on Tabletop Simulator for Vanguard, you can just go ahead and join us there, and then you'll be able to find the game much easier. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope this did explain how to set up Tabletop Simulator to play Vanguard, and hopefully I'll see a lot of you guys playing it as well. So that's pretty much it for me today, and I'll see you guys next time.